Hello and welcome to our third session on this 3D portfolio website. And in our previous session, we set up the project and we ran the command npm run dev and we got this localhost 5173 link and we tested it. Now to end this running, the app is now running, I have to press Ctrl C on my keyboard. So now you can see the application has stopped. If you come to your Blender Studio page or in the YouTube channel, if you scroll down, I have provided a resource file link. So if you click on this link, this will open in Google, this is a Google Drive link. You click on the download button here. So I am now going to download this. So download this 3D underscore website underscore resource.zip. Once the download is completed, I will now open this folder. You take whatever is downloaded. I am just going to cut it from here and in my H drive or in whichever drive, you just paste it. And the first thing you have to do is unzip this. So you have a zip file, unzip this entire folder. You can either use extract all or use WinRAR. I have extracted it. And if you open this, there are one folder and three other zip files. Code snippets, you have asset zip, component zip and public zip. So I want you to first actually unzip this asset zip. I am going to unzip this, and similarly now unzip this components.zip file. I am going to unzip this, and similarly now the last public.zip, you have this, right click and unzip this. So I have unzipped all the contents. After unzipping it, let us start with this public folder. So if you double click it, I have actually given you one demi model desktop PC, one planet model, and you have one logo file. You can replace it with your own models later on, but right now I have this desktop underscore PC, and in this you have this file. Come back to Visual Studio Code, and coming to Visual Studio Code, in your Satvik underscore 3D underscore profile, we had created, this has created one public folder. If you open it, there is just one y.svg, an svg file is available here. Now right now here I will close this. Now I will select this public folder, right click, and I will choose delete. And it is asking whether you want to move it to recycle bin. Click OK. So I have completely deleted that folder. Now come to the place where you had unzipped the files, and whatever unzipped public folder you had, don't take the zip file. The unzipped public folder, just drag this public folder from here to this Satvik 3D profile. So if you just drag it, so it is asking to copy the folder, click on copy folder. So this folder is now copied over here. The next thing is, if you come to this source folder, src folder, here you have one assets folder. And what I now want is, I am not going to use these assets. Select the asset folder here, select it, and I will delete it. You click on move to recycle bin. So I have deleted it. Now I will come back here, and coming back here, from the downloaded resource file, I had unzipped assets.zip. I will drag these assets and put it into the src folder. So this should be placed inside the src folder. Either you can copy it in this way in actually Visual Studio Code itself, or otherwise you can come to the folder. See, we had created two folders. One is Satvik underscore 3D profile, which contains our application, and 3D website resources is the downloaded files. Now you can take this one more zip folder that I have provided to you. It is components.zip, and I want you to unzip it. We have already unzipped it, and I want this components folder to be right click here and copy it, and now come to your website folder or your application folder. Here it is Satvik underscore 3D profile. Come inside this, come inside the src folder and just paste it. And when you paste it, even in Visual Studio Code, this components is updated. And if you click on components now, you see various JavaScript files. You have about, contact, experience, feedback. So these are all the different sections in our web page, which I will explain you later. What I have done is, I have just created dummy JavaScript files. These are just the boilerplate. See, if I click on about.jsx, see, it doesn't contain anything. It has just import React from React and the basic structure. So, for contact, experience, for everything, I have already created this starter file, which we are going to use it later. Now, the next thing here is, if you come over here, you have one app.css file. This we are not going to use it. So, you can just right click this and you can just delete it. I am going to delete it. Now, come to app.jsx file. This is the first file which we are going to now work on. And here, what I want is, the very first thing is, in return, see, by default it had created a structure for it, that when you saw the initial launch, you had one white logo, wheat logo and one React logo. You had a basic structure. That structure came from this code. So what I am now going to do is, I select everything between this return, that is right between from here to here, that is whatever is there between the open bracket of return and close bracket of return. Be very careful, don't delete off these brackets, you will start getting error. I will delete it off so that you have only the return statement. And in the return statement, now what I will do is, I am going to create a div with shift left arrow. I will add a left arrow and I type div, and as soon as I click on the div here, and I will close the tag now. So I automatically, it will add the closing tag. I will press enter, and in between this div now here I am going to now type Satvik 3D 3D website portfolio. I have typed the text here, and after this constant setup, you have this statement here above the return. I am going to select this line and I am going to press delete, and I am going to convert this into a modern day JavaScript function. So instead of writing function app name open and close bracket, and instead of declaring it in this closed curly bracket, this is the way functions were written initially. But now with the new standards, JavaScript standard, what we do is, instead of writing this so long, the best way to write is, I will select this and I am going to declare this as a const, means this is not going to change. I will write the keyword const, and after const, and I write the name of my function, which is app, and after this I will just put an equal sign, and then I will put on open close brackets, and after this, after open close bracket, I will put an equal sign and I will put this greater than sign. So now I have replaced this with this code. So the instead of using that function code, this is the new way of writing functions in JavaScript. So these things, if you want to go in detail, I will give you a full lesson chapter on JavaScript. So then you will understand it better. But right now, you just replace it with whatever I have typed here. Be very careful. Do not add any extra that is parenthesis or equal sign, or nothing extra should be added. And also here, since we have deleted app.css, we doesn't want none of these import statements. I will just select all these import statement and delete it. So this is app.jsx is going to start with this line constant app. I am giving you also in the resources another folder called as code_snippets. Now for example, if you come to the downloaded folder here, that is the 3D resource file. That is, if I come to H drive and if you come here to the 3D website resources, I have given you a folder called code_snippets. This contains some basic code which I have already done this. So, I will just right click this, I will copy this, I will come to the folder Satvik_3D profile where we have built our project, and in this I will just paste it in the root. So, now you can see the code snippet has been added. This we are not going to use it in our project, we are only going to use it as a reference. Now, if you open this, I have provided you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 files here, and here the very first file is you have index.css. Now, what I want you to do is click on this index.css, open it, and here what in this index.css we have done is we have imported fonts that we are going to use in this project, that has been imported, and then we have added some that is all these are CSS code, hash span, black gradient, violet gradient. We have added some gradient colors that we are going to use it in our project. So, select this entire 284 line code, select this entire code from here. Now, right click and choose copy. So, copy this entire code, then close this file, and now in your source folder you have one index.css. You come into this, in this you have a default CSS already present here. Now, select this 68 line code you are seeing here, delete it, and now right click and paste the new code, this 204 line code. 204 line code we have. Go to file and now save. You have box shadows. I have created some box shadow CSS, and after that I have some gradient color that we are going to use in our website, and also then we are going to import some Tailwind components and the font. And now after this, I am now going to come to this src folder, and inside this src folder now I am going to create a new file. Right click here and choose new file, and I am going to call this as style.js. And if you come to the code snippet folder, here I have provided you with a style.js file. Just click on this, and there is a 17 line code here. Just copy this. This actually defines section that has been added here in the style.js. I will select everything, copy this, I will close it. Now, I will open this style.js which is empty, and I am going to paste it here. Now, paste this code and just save this. So, we created two files in the root, that is inside Satvik_3D profile. In the root, you have one file called tailwind.config.js. Now, instead of JS, I will just click on this and I am going to choose rename here. Instead of JS, we are going to call this as CJS. Okay, because this is config.js file. So, to identify it as a config file, I will rename this as tailwind.config.cjs file. Now, I will come back to code snippet, and in code snippet you have this tailwind.config.cjs file. Now, from there is a 27 line code. You just copy this entire code, right click, copy it, and now come to this tailwind.config.jsf where you have just 8 line code. Select this, delete it off, and then right click and paste this. So, you have this 27 line code, and I am going to file and save this. This is the third file we are changing. And now here actually if you come to Tailwind, what we have actually configured here is we have one box shadow, we have defined screen size, we have given a background image, and these are some of the things. We have defined the primary color, secondary color and tertiary color in our website. So all these definitions has been added in this config file. Now after this, I will come into this src folder. Just right click here and I am going to create a new folder here and I will call it as utils. Now inside this, I will just right click and create a new file and I am going to call this as motion.js. We are going to use it for animation, and even in this case, if you come to the code snippet folder, you have one motion.js. Just copy all the files here, that is up to line 88. Select all the lines here, press Ctrl A to select everything, then right click and copy it. Now come to this newly created utils motion.js file and just right click and paste it, and then go to file and save it. So we have created, this is the fourth file that we have created, motion.js. These are some of the simple animation like slide in, you have zoom in, you have fade in. You have created some simple animations in this motion.js. So I will just close this file so that not many of the files are open here. I will close this also. I will close index.js also. App.jsx, I have not saved it. If you see a white dot like this, it indicates that the file has not been saved. Go to file and choose save. This will go away. Okay. Now the next thing is, the last one that we are going to now create is, come into the src folder, right click and create a new folder, and I am going to call this folder as constants. And in this constants folder, I will right click and create a new file, and I am going to call this as index.js. In your code snippet, you have one constants.js file. So this file contains all the constants. So now here what we have done is, see, if you scroll down to the bottom, that is full to the down here, you can see we have created 5 sections in our web page: services, technology, experience, testimonial and project. You can customize it with your own means in your resume what all points you want to highlight or headings that can be highlighted here, and for every service here. So I have created it like a function. So if you scroll up, you can now see here. So we are going to import all these components at the top from assets, and then you can see first you have the navigation link. Then in services, you can see the title developer, what all services we offer. Then you have technology, you have name and icon. Okay, you can replace it with your own name. In experience, I have put the title, company name where you have worked. I have just put some demi content here, from when to when you worked here, and the points are being added with a comma. Similarly, now next you have the second one, the third one, fourth one. We have created 4 experiences tab. You can add more by, I am going to show you how to customize it. Then you have full stack developer, and after this you have testimonials given by different people. Their face is provided with this photograph, and you have their testimonial value. We have 3 testimonials here, and what all projects we have done, the projects are added with a description like this. The first project is car rent, job IT, then you have trip guide. So I have just demi added it. So this is a file which you can modify it later. So whatever changes you are going to do it here will be highlighted in the website. Now here I am going to press Ctrl A to select everything in this constant. So totally you have 265 line code. Just right click, copy this, and then come to the index.js file. Inside constant we had created this index.js file. Select this, right click and just paste this, and after pasting it, go to file and choose save. So after this, now we have completed our basic structure of this site. Now I will go to file, I will choose save or save all to save everything, and after saving everything, now let us come to the terminal, and in the terminal now type npm run dev and click on it, and when you see this localhost port 5173, press Ctrl and click on this, and you are going to see this Satvik 3D website portfolio. Now, one thing you have to observe is, after you create this, so if you see this scene, if you go to inspect here, right now whether it is Chrome tool, I am using Brave, you come to console and there should be no error here. See, right now we are not seeing any error. If you see any error, it means that in some pasting you have done some mistake. If you have done some mistake, you will see an error in this console. So confirm that there are no errors, and now you have this Satvik 3D website portfolio. This is the empty site. So we have created this basic structure, and from the next session we are going to build this entire site stage by stage. So let us do that in our next session. Right now, before closing, come over here, press Ctrl C and quit this running application, save it, and let us continue the remaining thing from our next session. Thank you.